Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all well and lockdown's not too bad for you. So this week we're going to go back to basics, okay? Actually not this week, this is what we're going to do. We are going to go back to basics, okay? Why do we need primers? What do they do? What's the difference in foundations? Why do I need a bronzer and a highlighter and an illuminator? Etc, etc. So I'm going to talk a bit more in depth with you guys so you can just kind of understand why we use products, if you really need to use them or not, that's up to you, but we're going to go into it just in a little bit more depth, okay? So today we are going to talk about primers. We're going to talk about the eye primer and we're going to talk about the face primer, okay, and why we need these products. Or do we need these products? So, first of all, I'm going to talk to you about an eye primer. Okay, now there's different ways to prime your eyes. And the reason that we use eye primer is because our eyelids can get slightly oily as the day goes on. Okay, it's just something that happens during the day naturally to everybody. So we put a primer on our eyelids so that our eyeshadow, when this happens, when your eyelids start to get a bit oily as the day goes on, do not crease. We want to be able to put our eyeshadow on in the morning and it still be there in the evening, okay? I would personally say, yes, use an eyeshadow primer. There may be people out there that will be like, oh, what's the point? You don't need them. This eyeshadow is long wearing, this eyeshadow is long wearing. Then it's not always the case. In my case, I've tried products that people, you know, the companies have said they're really long wearing, you know, like specifically cream eyeshadow is really long wearing, and I've put them on and like 5 hours later, 4 hours later, they've started to crease because I haven't used a primer underneath. So I'm just going to go on my experience of what I've used on myself and used on my clients to get the result that we want. We want all day wear. Okay, there's lots of different products you can use to prime your eyes. People tend to use a concealer, so a concealer is a good one. We put that all over the lid, then you would set it with a powder, then you would go in with your eyeshadow. Concealers are a good idea. They do eliminate if you've got really discoloured eyelids. You know, some people have got really brown eyelids, some people have got pink tone to them. That concealer is quite a good thing to use to get rid of that. The next product, and this is a product I will always use, and that is the like an Urban Decay eyeshadow primer. I'm just seeing if this will pick it up for you guys. The camera's not doing what it's supposed to do. I really love the Urban Decay eyeshadow primers. They do an original one, so it sits on the eye, it doesn't change the colour of your eyelid, it doesn't do anything like that, it just sits on your eye as a base for your eyeshadow. Now they also do, in this range, they do one that is like knocks out the colour. So like I said with the concealer, they've got a product that does that as well, and they also do one that's like gives a shimmer to the eyelid, but I've always used the original one. This one has been tried and tested by me and by a lot of my clients, and this really holds your eyeshadow. I can't express enough how good this stuff is. It will hold your eyeshadow all day and all night, and it will not crease or move or budge. So that's quite a good one, and like I said, they do it in different consistencies, and the end game's slightly different. So you've got the original, you've got one that takes away any coloration, and you've got the opal one. So that is why we would use an eyeshadow primer. We want our eyeshadows to stay in place all day long. Would I say buy an eyeshadow primer? Yes. I know that they've got loads of other ones out there. I'm not just saying these are the only ones, so you might want to go out there and have a look at all the other different ones. I know MAC do one. Most companies do an eyeshadow primer. I'm going on what I've used, and 100% would recommend the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer. Now, on the other hand, we have our face primers. Face primers are there to do different things. You have face primers that are for pores, open pores. You have face primers for dry skin. You have face primers to give you more luminosity to the skin, a shimmer to the skin. There's so many of them out there. I'm just going to talk about a couple that I use on a regular basis. So to start with, I've got the POREfessional by Benefit, my little tiny one. My camera is really not playing ball today. This is really good. So you know, if you get sort of open pores here, the open pores, those tiny weeny little holes that you can see on your skin, and then when you put your foundation on them, they sink into those pores and you're left with like tiny little divots in the skin, if that makes sense. This product is what you would use to fill those pores in, so that when you put your foundation on, it sits on the product. So it's like a layer, and then you've got your foundation. If you didn't have your POREfessional on, you would see the slight divots in the skin when you put your foundation onto that. So that's a really good one if you do have quite big open pores. You can use it also alongside like a moisturising primer or a illuminating primer, but that's a brilliant one for pores, open pores. Okay, then we have our moisturising primers. So these are really good if you suffer from quite dry skin. I suffer really badly from dry skin, and these are a really good base to put your makeup on so that it sits on the skin. You've given your skin cushioning from the moisturiser in the primer, so everything should sit nicer. It will sit softer, not sit like the desert dry. The two that I've got is you'll see me use this quite a lot. This is the Beauty Flash Balm, and this brightens and tightens. This one you pop on your hands, you slightly rub it into your hands and you pat it on the skin, and you apply your makeup straight on top of that one. I find that really good. I find my makeup sits really lovely on this one, and it makes my skin feel beautifully soft and plump. We also have the Too Faced Hangover Primer. I know quite a lot of people use this one. This has like coconut water in it to revive the skin, refresh the skin, and those two are also silicone free, so they will sink into the skin better rather than just sitting on the surface of the skin. That smells lovely because it's got the coconut moisture in it. That sits really well. So again, if you've got dry skin, these primers like these two are really good. I also want to try the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base, which I'll be purchasing once all this is over and done with, and I'll let you guys know what that's like, because again, I've heard loads of really lovely things about that one, so we'll be giving that a try. And then the one that I use for more of a illuminator is the Becca Backlight Priming Filter primer. And this one, I'm going to show you this one because obviously this does have a slight sheen to it compared to the other one. I don't know if that's really going to pick. Can you see? That's got more of a sheen to it. So it gives that luminosity under your foundation. If you're going in with a really matte foundation, quite a heavier foundation, you're not going to see that much, if that makes sense. This one works better if you're wearing a medium to light foundation, because this then can illuminate through your foundation. When you put a thick, heavier foundation on a more full coverage foundation, you might not be able to see this one as well. But it is really pretty, and you can like wear it on its own, you know, like summertime, like maybe pop a bit of this on, a bit of concealer under the eyes, a bit of bronzer. So yeah, the Becca Backlight Priming Filter is a really, really good one. I use that on my clients as well. Now, primers are lovely. Not everybody uses them, I must admit. I do. I like them. I like using them on my clients. All I can say as well is, in regards to primers, it's also about getting the skincare right underneath the primer, because you need all those layers to build up plump, luminous, fresh looking skin. So primers do work really well, but don't forget to look at your skincare routine. I'll do another video in regards to sort of skincare and products and stuff like that, but have a good skincare range. Primers are lovely. Make sure you're using the right one for what you want to get out of your primer. Okay, so if you've got oily skin, you want to hide some imperfections with the pores, then you'd go for your Benefit Professional primer. This is a really good one. Again, if your skin is slightly drier and you really feel like you need that moisture underneath your foundations, then you've got the Clarins Beauty Flash Balm, and you've got your Hangover primer from Too Faced, and you've also got, which I don't have again, is the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enrich face base. And then if you want something that's going to give you a real shine, if you find your skin's feeling a bit dull, it needs a bit of lightness to it, then you could go in with your Becca Illuminating Primer. Don't forget though, you could put this one on, and then you could put this one on over the top as well. You don't have to use them on their own. These two work really well together. Maybe wouldn't necessarily use it with this, because you're trying to hide the pores with this. You don't then want to put this over the top and get rid of that illusion of smoother pores. So I hope that video, I hope that video has helped you understand a difference in a primer and why we would use a primer and its benefits. So go out there, have a look, see what primers are about, what you like, but I would go for one of those ones depending on what you want to achieve from your primers. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope that it's been a bit more educational for you, and I'm going to go back to basics as well with foundations and concealers and stuff. Why do we use them? Why does this do that? Why does this do that? Because the makeup industry is an absolute minefield. I mean, it's just crazy, the amount of products that everybody brings out. It's just out of this world. So I'm going to just go into a bit more in depth with you in regards to different products and why we use them and why we should use them and why we shouldn't use them. So I hope this has been helpful, and I will see you guys next week. Take care and have a lovely week and weekend. See you later. Bye.